Primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already know when outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not fronting. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is Primetime Poulton. This is Primetime Poulton. Let's go.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Monday. It's the Moral Compass, your reigning defending CGWF world champion. And with me today, I got the ace, Edwin Acevedo. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on, man. Congratulations, the dominant champion here. Mark kicking ass, taking names, taking heads, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. I took the off season serious. I got myself in shape, and I collected some heads in season 2 of the CGWF. I think 6 a.m. he's out to get me in season 3. He built me up only to take me down. That seems to be his MO.
I got beef with 6, man. First off, he has me wrestle in the armor. You know how much that weighs. Like, I can barely move in that thing,
You're already at a disadvantage.
I'm trying to barely lift the guy up. I gotta carry this big ass helmet every time to like, come on, man. Killing me with that 6.
So do you watch the matches when we do it?
Every once in a while I'll pop in, it's usually happening when I'm at work, but yeah, I'll sneak into, like, I'll see like the Diaz brothers, a couple other people, when I was on, I've had a couple matches, so I'll try to pop in the chat and like say hi to everybody.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun doing the play-by-play for CGWF. I think our next event is going to be the Royalist Rumble ever. I don't know how many guys you can have in it in the video game, but man, our roster is getting full.
No, man, 6 put so much work into that. Like, it reminds me when I probably tapped out like around the PS3 for like video games, but like, man, I used to just love the creative player, like, and stuff. Me and my buddy used to do these notebooks where we would like script, like he'd take Raw, I'd take SmackDown. And we do like a year worth of storylines. Like every week we'd meet up and like have these. So I remember we just used to create every person imaginable and just go nuts with it. So
I think I tapped out around NWO versus the World. So that was that was a long time ago. Yeah. Maybe 25 or more years ago. But we're here to talk your new book, Bloodbone. First, though, I want to remind people. Loose Threads still on Indiegogo. We got 22 days left, 3 weeks. We're closing in on $13,000. What happens to comic book characters when their series are canceled? The most personal project I've ever written. I wrote this after getting fired from DC Comics twice in the same week. And my biggest concern was what's going to happen to Hawkman now that I no longer have a job. So this story picks up with our main character, Queen Madeline. She's about to fulfill her destiny, slay her main nemesis, the Necro Dragon, and everything around her vanishes. Just goes blank. She sees a door in the distance. She follows it. And inside is a waiting room full of superheroes, barbarians, comic book characters. All of their series have been canceled. She's been canceled. And she's not going to take her cancellation lightly. She ventures out into the real world to track her creator down with some like-minded characters, and they're going to demand that he finish their story so they can fulfill their destinies. Lots of fun. Artwork incredible by Cesar Madaro. Just tons of detail. His work with shading with the pencil is absolutely stunning. And to top that, we have a cover by George Perez and Cesar Madaro. Cesar got this for me as a surprise on George Perez's last trip to Spain for a convention. And George drew our main character, Queen Madeline, in the crystal ball. Cesar drew everything else around it, and colors provided by Graveyard Shift's Anthony George. 3 weeks left for Loose Threads, man. If you haven't backed it, please consider. If you have backed it, please share the link with some friends.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I'm glad you're finally putting this out. I know you remember remember you telling me about this years ago. I was like, that sounds so cool. And then, like,
It's it's been a long time coming. I was waiting. I like to have the project done before I launch, and our colorist Anthony George, he just kept getting jammed up with Graveyard Shift. We kept doing more and more Graveyard Shift, which is great for us and great for Anthony because he's making a good paycheck. But I started to think this book's never going to get done. And then Anthony, maybe a few months ago, he DM'd me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna finally get to work on Loose Threads and finish it." I was like, "Oh, okay." Thinking maybe in a year I'll hear from him. Like in a month, he had the rest of the series done. So I was like, "Oh wow, it's time to finally get this out."
Oh yeah.
So you have a new project out, Bloodbone, but you just fulfilled your last project, the Ace 2, which I have my buddy's already. I have my books right here, but I have my buddy up in display with the rest of my little army. But man, I love the Ace. I love the colors, the artwork, fantastic. I can't wait to read it. And I was so excited about that Slam Buddy.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, like I said, we're doing limited fulfillment right now. I'm waiting to get like a big order of books from my printer. I've had like printer issues for a little bit now, so we're kind of getting to that point where. But yeah, I did have some in hand. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not gonna make people wait. I'm just gonna put out everything that I have. I have all the Slam Buddies in hand. I have all the sketch cards. I have all the prints, stickers, cards. I'm like, I'm not waiting. I'm just putting it out. So starting in October, when I said I was going to fulfill, I just started sending out packages, and I'll be sending out more this week. And like I said, as I get kind of the big order of books, everything else will go out. So that's kind of why I'm kind of bringing everything to a close. December 1st is going to be the end of the campaign officially. So you got a little over a month to get up on the Ace.
What's the pitch for the Ace for those that don't know?
Yeah, so the Ace continues the story of a young man who's discovered the remains of a shooting star. He ends up finding an object there that grants him the ability to transform into an armored superhero. And basically, once that happens, he gets introduced to all these aliens who end up wanting the armor for themselves for various reasons. And in Volume 1, Ace fought Akula, which is the giant shark alien. And basically, after he's able to defeat him, he gets put in a position where you don't know if he's going to kill Akula or not. Kind of has to make a choice, like, to see how far he's going to take this. And just as he's going to decide, he hears a voice in the background that tells him to stop. So that's how Volume 1 ends. And Volume 2 picks up right a couple panels after. And you see he gets introduced to these brand new aliens called the Godless. They're the ones in the yellow and blue suits. And they basically want the Ace to come back with them to their home planet. And, like I said, Ace has never met aliens before. They're new to, like, Earthlings. So he really doesn't know who to trust. He's like, I just met my first alien. He tried to kill me. So now I got these new aliens telling me to come back with them. What's going on here? So he's got to make a lot of decisions. He kind of has to trust his instinct, his gut, and kind of he decides to, has to figure out whether he's going to say yes or no. And then through that, he ends up also facing off against Angelique, who has tracked them down. And she also wants the armor for herself. So, things just get bigger, more adventure. We go off into space. So a lot more action-packed than the Ace Volume 1 was. And we just kind of keep getting introduced to his world. And, David's got a lot to deal with, and he's got to kind of figure it all out. He doesn't really have time to breathe. So kind of like the idea of just we dump him in the world, and then we just kind of let him go, and he has to figure it out,
Yeah, no, this is right up my alley. It reminds me of the '90s series, Darkhawk, even Supernova, stuff like that. Lots of fun. Shout out to Amanda B for sharing the links. Thank you, Amanda. We also got Bat on My Face in the house. What's up?
Yeah, man.
So the Ace 2 still available until December 1st. Edwin is a proven creator. This is his second campaign he's fulfilled. Usually has a majority, if not all, the work done before you launch, right?
Yep. Everything is done. We basically finish the pencils and the colors. And once that's good, then we can kind of launch the campaign. And then, like I said, everything else is about kind of making enough money where we can order the extras.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the prints, the posters, all that kind of stuff, and then get it shipped out to people. So I said we're close, and like I said, for now we got enough in stock where we can send out copies to people, and there's plenty of stuff, plenty of packages I can send out in the meantime. So it's good to kind of get it out there, and then people are getting it super quick. Like I've been a couple of days, and like people are posting already pics, which I'm super happy with, because the last time I fulfilled the ace, the post office was super slow. I've been getting like a week, and you're like, is this gonna get to anybody? Like, so it's nice to see like a quicker turnaround for the post office now. It's a couple of days and people are getting it, so I'm super happy about that. Even like overseas, like I sent it was like 5 days, like it got to like Germany or something. So I was like, all right, that sounds good, man. Get it in people's hands, which is the main thing, because I want them to read it. I want their thoughts on it. I'm super proud of it. Like I love the first one, but I think Volume 2 is just so much better. I think the art's better, the storytelling is better. I've learned so many lessons. I think everybody who worked on the book 1 learned lessons, and we've all just taken our game to the next level. And then it's gonna lead to an even bigger Volume 3, which I'm gonna start in January. So like, yeah. Oh, awesome, man. I hope you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Volume 3. Sounds like it's in the works.
Yeah. The script's already done. I'm just kind of making small tweaks, just kind of making sure everything's right, and then can also get started on it in January, and it'll be like all heads. That's why I want to kind of end all these here, so I'm not doing anything about that's in the past. And then once the new year starts, it's just going to be like Ace 3 and maybe Bloodbone number 1, who knows, but definitely nice. Ace 3 is already locked in, so we're gonna start in January. So
that's awesome. I'm starting to regret not getting this metal print by Anthony Figueroa. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful shine to it. Gotta get a couple more in. The post office has not been kind to my packages, let's just say. So that's been a whole nother thing. So so those are kind of growing pains and kind of things. You kind of learn.
I might have to hire Anthony to draw some sexy ladies for me.
Anthony's fantastic, man. He did such a tremendous work. His colorist blew it away, and on metal, it just has a beautiful shine to it. So.
And the Slam Buddy, are you going to do more of these with future campaigns?
Oh yeah, I would love to do a Bloodbone one. I think that'd be fantastic.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
A big jacked Bloodbone one would be just like incredible.
And you threw the idea out there. We should do a Slam Buddies team up book.
Dude,
I'm all for it.
It writes itself. It is so, if you can get somebody with like that kind of like almost like a chibi like art style, and just do like a fun team up where all these Slam Buddies are forced to like come together. I would love to do something like that. That to me is like we gotta expand more, like I got like a little niece. She's gonna be like 4 in a couple months, and it's just like I'm starting to think more like, because I don't have kids yet or anything, but thinking like, I like be able to. I can't give my niece Bloodbone. I just here, take this. It'd be cool to have something like kind of more young kids oriented that we can do.
Yeah, no. Once you mentioned that, the gears in my head already started moving, trying to think of ideas. I love it. Right now we got that, man. Yeah, we got U.S. Assassin, Black Al, the Relentless Tin Soldier, Akula. Am I saying it right? Akula. And I have Sea Dog in the works right now.
Oh, that's perfect, man.
Yeah, that's a fun cast of characters right there.
That's a whole crew right there,
Yeah.
So, trust me, we get some like we get like a cover image going, and people will dig it, man. People will start sharing that out. That'll be great.
All right. Make sure, guys, if you haven't backed the Ace 2, do so. You have until December 1st. I highly recommend the Ace. I love the first one. I can't wait to read the second one. And it came with a lot of great bonuses. The sticker pack, the trading card, the print, all fantastic.
Yeah, it's the cool thing about the stickers. If you got Volume 1, has the Ace, it has Akula, it has Angelique stickers. So those go right with them. You basically have the whole all of the Ace characters that have been introduced so far. You have them all in 6 a.m. sticker form, so that's really cool.
That's awesome. You should make them as color forms and just put out a background.
That would be great. Yeah.
You could play out the whole story. All right. Next up, Bloodbone So this you've taken an easy for me to say, interesting route with this. The DM, my buddy Sean Aaron, I think originated the old slide into my DMs.
Him and Joe Sontag, man. You know, I was watching kind of how they started their campaign, and I was like, you know, it's really interesting. The idea of like, I didn't want to do another big campaign, especially while I was still fulfilling Ace. But I've had this for like, we started work probably February of last year. I was looking through some messages and stuff, and Donald's super quick, so like we got it done. So it's been a while since it's been sitting in like my Dropbox folder, and you know, I kind of wanted like, I had 12 pages done, like basically the story's 12 pages, and I was like, you know, once I saw their idea for the Ashcan, I was like, that's kind of because I've been looking for like an Ashcan idea, something where I could put, and this kind of made sense to me. I was like, you know what, I already have 12 pages. All I need to cover and to get it lettered, which I would take like no time, and I'm good to go. So like I just went over the process of doing it, and I was like, you know what, now's the time. You know, like kind of one of those things where you put it out, and then the response has been crazy. Like people have been like doing tons of fan art for like Bloodbone and stuff. Like people have just been like messaging me about it. I'm like, oh, it's pretty awesome, man. Like, all right, we got something here.
Man, just the name. When I heard the name, it grabbed me. I was like, oh, this sounds so 90s. I love it. And then I saw this incredible artwork, and I was like, I'm sold. I'm in on this. This is amazing.
Yeah, fantastic cover by Ricardo Jaime. He just completely put his own twist on the character, like bigger than life. You know, I love the idea of like he threw in the other kind of characters there. All those guys, they're not in this Ashcan, but they will play a big role in issue 1. Like they're meant to be like kind of big deal characters. So the fact that he threw all them in on the cover, and it kind of, it's, you know, it's very street level. Like just everything about this just kind of like he instantly got what I was going for. So I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, this cover is incredible. If you don't mind, I'm going to share some of the interior pages that you posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did I do it?
Oh, no, it's still the cover.
All right, give me a second. Here we go.
There we go.
So Donald DeLay's the interior artist?
Yep. Donald, you know, when I was coming up with the idea of the story, I was thinking like I needed somebody who kind of would get kind of the overtop nature of it. You know, I needed somebody who kind of, you know, get this whole vibe of the characters and everything. And also somebody who would kind of bring a little bit of humor to it, because I don't really like stuff that's too like dour and like takes itself too serious. Like, you know, it's a serious book, but you want to have something that a little bit of a smile, or you can be like, you know, because you know it is a violent book. I mean, Bloodbone isn't exactly kind to his enemies. He's looking to just break bones and just toss guys around. And he doesn't really care about killing anybody. So I think Donald really was the perfect guy for it. And you know, once he sent me the first couple pages back, I was like, yep, he gets it, and we're good to go after that.
Yeah, when I just saw the logo, I originally had Trencher vibes, if you remember that book from the 90s. And when I think Trencher, I think Donald, because I know that's like his that's his favorite book. So yeah, this is awesome looking. I love it.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the Ashcan is we can just kind of drop you right into the action. That's the first page, and you see like Bloodbone just kind of crashing down on this meeting from this criminal organization. He just goes nuts, and he just starts like taking out guys left and right. So the idea of just kind of 12-page like just balls to the wall action, and like it's kind of its own original story and stuff. It kind of introduces you to Bloodbone, kind of like what he's trying to do. And then kind of like from this, we would spin off to like a brand new #1, you know, if people kind of dig it and like it. So yeah, it's
can you give us any info on his background?
His background's pretty much a mystery. I compare this a lot to Arrow, the first like 2 seasons of Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, the character Bloodbone ends up leaving his hometown. Uh, he leaves for about 5 years. So when he comes back, he's completely gone through like a change. He wasn't always this big kind of jacked kind of guy. There's certain things that happened while he was away, kind of exploring life. And when he comes back, he's looking to basically, come back to his childhood home where he felt safe and, he knew people and everything was good. And he kind of comes back and he sees that, so it used to be like a metropolis. Think of like, Superman's like city,
Yeah.
Something like that. And then like when he comes back, it basically turns into Gotham. And he's like, what's going on? Like, I know it's been 5 years, but it hasn't been that crazy. And then he sees that it's been taken over by this criminal like enterprise. And that's why he decides to like adopt the mask and become this vigilante. And so yeah, we kind of delve into some of like his past and kind of some of his experiences that kind of got him ready to where he's doing now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we kind of mix a little bit of the flashbacks and kind of little by little kind of reveal more about him. But we wanted to take mostly like in like the present time when he's kind of like trying to clean up the city. That's kind of like the main focus. But we'll touch on some of his past.
Just visually, I get a Lobo meets Grifter vibe from him. Were they either of them inspirations?
Grifter was Bloodbone's a little more towards like the Bane kind of
Okay, yeah, I see
area.
that.
Yeah, like he's more like Bane. The idea of even though he uses his I guess his strength for good, you kind of say he has no qualms about killing people, especially
Yeah,
bad people. Like there's nothing where he's gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna hurt this guy. Like, no, you're a scumbag. I will break your neck, and I will not think twice about any of it. He'll leave like a whole area just demolished, and like he won't even hesitate about it. So he's definitely like you could consider him like a good guy, but he's kind of on that right on that edge where
right.
you can see him kind of going really dark, and then he'd be like a Bane. He'd be like a guy who could take over a city by himself. So I wanted to have a little mix of that, the Bane with like some Grifter. I'm a big fan of the mask, obviously, and anybody who's seen the current Grifter knows, you know, if you love Grifter, this is probably the closest you'll ever get in
Yeah,
current time. So just leave it at that.
yeah. Hasn't been a good time for Wildstorm Grifter
Yeah,
recently.
sadly,
So
no.
here's the deal. Slide into Edwin's DMs. The Ashcan prices: U.S. only. One copy $20 free shipping. Two copies $35 free shipping. And international, it is one copy $20 plus $10 shipping. Two copies $30 plus $10 shipping. Very reasonable international shipping.
Yeah, I figure like especially for like the two copies for 40. If you know somebody over like if you're in Canada or something or the UK, you got a buddy, you both chip in and basically you'd be paying the same price as the US. So, I do want to get this into people's hands, like I'm super proud that I have backers in, Europe. I mean, who'd ever thought like, like I would have like people buy my book in Europe, but hey man, that's awesome. Like send myself to Israel. Like that's incredible. Like, so yeah, definitely the ash can, definitely wanted to get in people's hands. So wherever they're at, try to make it reasonable. Where it also makes sense for me too.
Is it a good feeling for you when you're fulfilling the books to
Yes.
see all the places your work's going?
Yeah, like literally when I'm because I don't really like mess with like backer info until I'm ready to ship.
Hmm.
I start going through like, all right, how many slips, I need the forms to fill out for international. So I'm
Yeah.
going through different, and I'm just going looking at the different cities and countries, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome, man. Like, like this is pretty like the reach like independent comics have is pretty spectacular. And so yeah, to be able to send it to these different countries and different places, it's sensational. So yeah.
And when are you looking to fulfill the Bloodbone Ashcan?
I'm looking toward late November, early December.
Nice.
Like
In time
right
for
around when
Christmas.
right around when I finish up Ace 2 campaign. I'll be hopefully started getting everybody. I do have a proof for it for anybody who's curious.
Well, let me put you full screen. Look
Yeah,
at that.
So,
that is awesome.
yeah. So, had to do a couple minor tweaks on it and stuff. Let me just show like a page to kind of see like what we're dealing with here. So yeah, like I said, I had to do a couple minor tweaks on it, but like I said, everything looks good. I love the quality of it, the cover, this is a new printer that I'm using. So like, it's kind of like learning everything through them, but so far so good. So hopefully, everything should be on track for fulfilling around that time.
Yeah. So guys, he already has a print proof ready. He's ready to place that order once the campaign ends, or he's done taking pre-orders. So this is a sure thing. The closer you can get to a sure thing with crowdfunded comics. So Edwin's definitely putting in the work. We're gonna get back to Bloodbone, but first, Edwin, I know you're a wrestling fan like me. We were talking wrestling. Can we talk? I think he's a favorite of yours, Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Just won the Atlantic Championship.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Obviously I'm happy, but they should have pulled the trigger weeks ago, in my opinion. One of the problems with AEW has been a lot of kind of like weird kind of booking decisions.
Yeah.
It seems like they're delaying a lot of stuff that shouldn't be delayed, and they're kind of getting like a backlash, and they just, oh well, man, there's like a backlash now, let's do it. It's like same thing happened with the Acclaim when they lost their title match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That crowd, that whole weekend was all about the Acclaim. Nobody was more over, nobody was more ready than the Acclaimed, and they decided to beat the Acclaim and then put the belts on them 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I honestly think like Orange Cassidy, they should have pulled the trigger a year ago, but not with the Atlantic Championship, with the World Championship. When he got put in that three-way with Omega and Pac, I thought that was the time. I mean, Jericho had just done a program with him. Man, and now I almost feel like it's a little too late. like I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah.
Because he was IWTV champion where he went around and defended the belt. So I would love the idea of sending Orange Cassidy to like Europe, to Japan, just introducing him to the world and just having him just do his thing. I think that would be super interesting. Like, I think that would get AEW more fans worldwide if they see like Orange Cassidy defending this belt. I just don't want him to keep him in the States because that's just lazy.
I think him and Will Ospreay stole Forbidden Door. Their match was incredible.
That whole thing was when Shibata came out. I mean, that was the event of the year for me. Like nothing has topped that so far.
Yeah, but I really feel like he's a talent that could bring in a new audience. So I was just so bummed when they didn't pull the trigger a year ago. I thought that was the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, a lot of weird kind of decisions that I don't get.
Yeah.
I just hope for the best. Like now that they've kind of turned the page. Whatever's gonna happen with the Elite and Punk.
I was gonna ask you what's your take on that.
Like I said, I think lawyers are going to be involved, and none of that stuff's going to get cleared up until next year.
Yeah.
So now's the time to push guys like Orange Cassidy. Now's the time to, when Thunder Rosa comes back, have her drop the belt to Toni Storm. Like, build a new crop of champions, people that are going to carry the company. The Acclaim just got the belts. Like, pick the new kind of era of AEW and just go with them. Like, you got to turn the pages. We need some fresh blood. We need some new storylines, and so like keep the belt on Wardlow, let him like get better, let him work more with like veterans and stuff. Because Wardlow's super talented, but he needs work.
Yeah,
he needs to work with guys like Brian Cage more. He needs to work with guys who are gonna make him better. So like now's the time to make these guys take them to the next level, man. There needs to be like a complete. It's been 3 years now. Turn the page. And let's get some like new blood in there.
No, I'm a big fan of Wardlow too. I wish they would get him out of this tag team with Samoa Joe. He needs to be defending that belt every week, I think. Just give him challenger after challenger. Put him in there with good wrestlers that'll make him even better.
Yeah, definitely.
And we were talking on La Podgods the other day. Honestly, I'm not even missing the Bucks, Omega, and Punk. I love that they're pushing the Acclaimed. I'm happy for Tony Nese and Josh Woods now that they're a tag team. They're getting TV time. I think it's an opportunity for a lot of fresh faces, like you were saying.
Now's the time. Like, I think they're gonna return Private Party back faces. Private Party was a huge thing in the first year. They were very green. They were very green. So I understand why they kind of stopped them. But I think they've gotten a lot better. I think them working heel has actually helped up their game. So now get like a new wave of Private Party. Let them get back to being baby faces, give them some new theme music, and let them be like the fresh, kind of exciting highlight team that they used to be. Like, it's time to kind of like start cycling out. Like, I think 3 years was good, but now it's time to like a new 3 years. So like, has to be like a new plan, new faces. Get Kip Sabian and Penelope, I think, are superstars. Like, for real, like they're a mega couple. They can do so much. Get the mixed tag going. Like just start just bringing up all these new people. They've been there for long enough, man. It's time to really start putting the battery in them and let them go, man. Because can't just rely on the old timers, man. Like, they set the groundwork, but now it's the time for the new faces to take over.
Yeah, one of the longest running jokes on the Podgods was, what was the worst faction, the Nightmare Family or the Hardy Family Office? What's your pick?
Nothing beats the Brandy's Nightmare Family. Like, I would be like, what is going on? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, where I kept waiting for like it to make sense. And then it made less sense as it went along. I was just like, when they finally put the bullet in it, I was like, thank God. Like, they're just like, look, we know it's not working, so let's call it. And I like that. More companies need to do that. We're like, look, we gave it a couple months, we tried different things, it didn't work, man. So it ends, and then everybody can breathe, and everybody can be like, all right, it ended. So like, we need more of that in wrestling.
Nicholas Gears in the house. He says they need to bring in Hogan and save the company.
Don't put that evil on AEW, Nicholas.
Man, I would love for him to stop Dark and Elevation and make that 2 Ring of Honor shows. Have Ring of Honor be their YouTube shows, and then they have Rampage and Dynamite for national television.
Yeah, they definitely need to change some things up. Maybe, like I said, AEW app where they send all that online content. They start, just like I said, I think like the first 3 years is a good time to kind of set up the base and everything, but like, I think now it's time to start pivoting and start doing different stuff. Like, you don't want to get stale, you don't want to just kind of level off. And I think, like, surprisingly, the ratings and stuff have kind of gone up because of the controversy and everything. So like, now's the time to crown new champions. Now's the time to really give people a different look and a different feel. And I think like there needs to be more of that. Like, I'm hopeful in the next couple of months we'll see like more like new champions, just more newness. Like, same thing happen. It can happen to any company, but like, you get like 3, maybe 4 or 5 years at the most, and then you got to change over, because if you keep doing the same stuff, your product becomes stale. That's what happened with Ring of Honor. They never went to that new stuff. Like, they would do great stuff, but it always would stay on that same level. And then when guys would leave, they didn't have anybody to replace them. So you can't replace Danielson and McGuinness. No matter how good the next guys are, they'll never be that good. So you have to do something new. So that's why I don't want AEW to go to. Like, you had the first 3-4 years, because technically, like, you can count like, most of like the stuff they were doing beforehand as AEW, for me anyway. Like, when they went to the indies and stuff and they started recruiting all those guys, that was basically AEW, like, so they've had like a 4-year run, but now it's the time to like change it up, and like, it's time for new stuff, man. New shows, new takes. They need to get, like, I think like their the commentators You know, I'm glad they started making changes with that. Put JR on Rampage. It was only 1 hour. You know, like it needs to start being like a new kind of overhaul to make the product fresh again.
Yeah, no, I love that they've brought in Ian Riccaboni to call the Ring of Honor matches, and he's been doing some of the dark stuff too. So yeah, I'm with you with the fresh faces. I like that they just brought in Matt Taven and Michael Bennett for the tag division on last Rampage. So there's it's I don't know. I think I don't know if Tony's trying to counter Triple H with all the returns he's making, but it's an exciting time with wrestling right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good thing about competition, man. It forces you to change and evolve. So that's always good.
So, Bloodbone. What is there anything you would like fans to know about it before we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, mostly like, you know, people who read the Ace know it's very kind of like sci-fi influenced. You know, we go to like different planets, we meet different alien races, all this kind of stuff. And it's going to get more kind of like interstellar. It's going to go off into space, different planets, different races, all that kind of stuff. And it's awesome. But Bloodbone's like a 180 from that. It's completely street level. You know, think like Daredevil, like think Arrow. It takes place, you know, mostly during this like Metropolis, where Bloodbone's basically trying to figure out, you know, what this organization is, why they're in the city, who's on top of it, all that kind of stuff. While we kind of delve into his past a little bit and kind of give you some background. It's very kind of action packed. It's a 12-page ash can, so it's most of the 12 pages are full action, and that's kind of like what I'm kind of going for with this more action oriented, more kind of like you know, kind of hard hitting, over the top kind of action, some blood, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, so it's definitely completely different than anything else. A lot of these characters that are in the book are kind of like enhanced. You know, there's no capes. Uh, you know, like there's no like superheroes or anything like that. There are people who kind of have been enhanced through like experiments and different kind of things. So it's a much more street level, much more kind of like gritty than like the Ace. So this really is a completely like different vibe that I'm going for. It doesn't take place in the same universe as the Ace. You know, this is completely separate universes. So it definitely is his own thing. And like I said, the Ashcan is basically its own story. I probably won't reprint it until like 3-4 issues down the line, if ever. So, you know, it is kind of like its own cool kind of thing, you know, very much inspired by like the old Wizard Ashcans. You know, they used to be like their own thing. They would almost never get reprinted. So we're going kind of that kind of route with the cool, like full little cover there. So
yeah, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you if it took place in the same universe as the Ace, but it doesn't.
No.
Why were you? Why that? You want to keep them as two separate things?
Yeah, I mean, the real kind of hook of the Ace is the fact that David lives in a normal world. Before he gets introduced to Akula and everything. So there's no superheroes, there's nothing, there's not even enhanced. It's a complete normal world like ours.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when you get introduced to aliens and all this other stuff that's happening on the other side of the universe, it's such a complete shock to him. That's kind of like, wow, we're really like, he like this thought this was like in movies and stuff. Like this isn't real. So the idea of like trying to fit in another superhero in this world already diminishes that idea. You know, and the same thing with like Bloodbone, because you figure like if Ace is on Earth and, you know, people are suffering and stuff, there's a whole kind of idea of like there's another hero. Ace would look for answers, and there's another hero. And it's just kind of like I would have to force things to match other world instead of starting brand new. Like there's nothing. There'll never be anything alien anything on Bloodbone. Like that'll never happen. It'll be just enhanced kind of humans with different skills and stuff. No superheroes. Superman won't come in, you know, to save the day. Nothing like that. So I wanted to keep those completely separate and make them each their own thing. That way I don't have to force stuff to each universe.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense once you explained it. So, guys, just a reminder, the Ashcan prices US only. 1 copy is $20 free shipping. 2 copies, $35 free shipping. And then international, 1 copy, $20 plus $10 shipping, 2 copies, $30 plus $10 shipping. Very reasonable prices for shipping internationally. And Edwin's already shown off the printer's proof. So this book's ready to go. You can back with confidence. Edwin, man, we're about to wrap this up. Where can people find you on Twitter? I think I have your link in the description. But besides Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I always say number one place is always Twitter at Edwin Aces. That's where I'll premiere any breaking news, any sort of new stuff I'm working on, any messages. The easiest place to get me is there. I am on Facebook. I'm Drawing Aces on Facebook. You'll see the little ace logo. That's how you'll know it's me on Facebook. I also have 2 YouTube channels. First one is called Indie Wrestling Aces. I show matches and different things from indie events that I go to around the area. It's a lot of fun. If you're into, some independent wrestling, you can check that out. And then I'm going to get back to streaming on my regular YouTube channel, which is called Drawing Aces. Hopefully, they'll lining up some interviews and different stuff in the next couple of weeks, bringing that back. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton. Hit the notifications. This Wednesday, I'm debuting a new show, CG Revolution, with my friends Mike McMahon and Chris Graves. I'm going to share the trailer right now, and that'll take us out. But Edwin, I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm looking forward to Bloodbone. I already reserved my copy. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It's gonna be a fun, bloody ride, man. Jump on it.
All right, here you go, guys. CG Revolution, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.